Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day in The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis, and while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, questions about ingredients or formulations, 844-236-6010 is our number, 844-236-6010. If you have a specific health challenge that you'd like help with, 844-236-6010 is our number, and we love hearing from you on The Bright Side. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended, you can call 866-735-2470 for more info, or head to our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com for more information. You can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the website. Click on the Join the Team link for a one-time $25 fee. You can be in business for yourself. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Our college and recovery complex is back up again for you guys who've been waiting. We had a little bit of a back order on that, but it's up on the website, truthtreatments.com. And we have new products coming out here, hopefully in the next 4 weeks or so. So keep your eyes open. Keep checking back at truthtreatments.com. Free shipping for the foreseeable future at truthtreatments.com. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. We've been talking about the physics of health, I guess you'd say. The invisible side of health. The visible world comes from the invisible world. That's just a general rule. The invisible world is the world of light. Yes, light is invisible. We don't think about light as being invisible, but it is. Light, you can't see light until it bounces off of something. Light itself is invisible, which is kind of an interesting little factoid there. All of the visible comes from the visible. All of the visible comes from the invisible. That's actually called the photoelectric effect in science. The photoelectric effect says that electrons come from photons. Electrons are little pieces of electricity. That's where the world begins. The material world begins, I should say. The material world begins with electrons. That's the first place the material world begins, and it comes from photons. That is pretty cool right there, people. Photons lead to electrons. The invisible leads to the visible. Photons are light. Light leads to matter. Matter is really just trapped light. Albert Einstein said that. And the first place, by the way, where light is trapped on Earth is in green plants. Algae actually were the first place, but then they evolved into green plants. Algae and green plants represent the interface between the invisible world of light and the visible world of everything we see here that's alive, I should say. Or even that's not alive, probably. In any case, the stuff that's alive starts off as sunlight. It gets turned into plants, or chlorophyll, I should say. And then it becomes electrons. That's what a plant does. Plant's job is to turn the light into electrons. The sun is where everything comes from. Ancient people worshiped the sun. They said that the sun was the father. There's some theological implications there, I suppose, the sun being the father. There's a lot of folks who study these kinds of things who have come up with the idea that theology and religion is really astrotheology. It's really a metaphor for the sun and the planets and the sky and the moon. And you can imagine ancient people being blown away by the sun. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus says, I am the light of the world. There's some serious metaphorical and metaphysical implications to that right there. The bottom line is, as we study biochemistry and nutrition and health, not from the ordinary perspective that you hear on most radio shows or internet programs, and not that that stuff's not valuable. I mean, I like nutrition as much as the next guy. But if we're going to be fully healthy, we want to be able to leverage every part of our bodies, especially the most fundamental levels. The very small leads to the very big. If we're going to understand the big, we got to understand the small. The only time we ever go to a doctor is when we don't understand the relationship of the small to the big. That is, when we go to a doctor for a chronic condition. We don't understand the building blocks. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people, even on this radio show. I was perfectly healthy, and then all of a sudden, fibromyalgia hit, arthritis hit, psoriasis hit, cancer hit, heart disease hit. I got arrhythmias. I got a stroke. I was perfectly healthy, and then I got a stroke. It doesn't work that way. The small leads to the big. You don't have a stroke. You don't have psoriasis. You don't have autoimmune disease, whatever, arthritis. You don't Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. You don't get those until the small has been accumulating, because we don't understand the relationship between the small and the big. We automatically, as soon as the big hits, we go to the wizard. We go, help me, Mr. Wizard. Because we don't understand, and he doesn't understand the small relationship of the small to the big either. But he gets paid to fake it. And that's why we get drugs. The very small is the foundation for the very big, for what we can see. To effectively work with where we can see, we got to understand where we don't see. I've always said this before, I'll say it again. Where you see the problem is not where the problem begins. If you want to take care of the problem, you don't take care of it where you see it. You take care of it at the building blocks, at the foundations. But you got to understand the foundations. You got to understand the building blocks. You got to understand the how our bodies, how our chemistry, how our symptoms, how our health issues, how they are created. And it all starts off at the quantum, and quantum just means very small. So I know that word can freak people out, but it just means very small, the world of the quantum. The world of atoms is really where the quantum becomes something that we can work with. We can't really work with electrons directly, but we can work on them at the level of the atoms. The atoms are everything you see on the periodic table. The periodic table is probably, if not it's one of the greatest discoveries ever in the history of science. It's the periodic table, is all of these atoms. You've seen it a million times, I'm sure. It's very cool. I mean, you don't have to really understand it necessarily to appreciate how cool it is, but it is pretty, it's just, the more you understand it, the more fascinating and more blown away you get by it. All these atoms are what we call minerals, sort of. See, atoms on the periodic table never exist by themselves. So yeah, you see all these boxes, and you see the carbon and the hydrogen and the oxygen and the nitrogen and the neodymium and the tellurium and all of the 100+ atoms on the periodic table. I think there's about 120, including man-made ones. And they look discrete, but they're not. They cannot exist by themselves. Atoms do not exist by themselves, and therein lies the secret to nutrition. Therein lies the secret to minerals, and therein lies when we understand it, therein lies the difference between all the kinds of minerals that you hear about. If I had a nickel for every time somebody told me about, oh, there's aluminum and there's arsenic and there's nickel and there's all these things in your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and I have to explain that the minerals are not all the same, I'd be a rich man, because I say it all the time. But you got to understand how these things all work, how the atoms all work, to really understand that. And we'll talk about that when we come back from our break. Right now, I just want you to know that atoms do not exist by themselves. How they combine, form the different minerals and the plant-derived minerals versus the ionic minerals versus the rock minerals, and how they combine really forms all the vitamins and forms all the macronutrients and forms all of biology. It's all about how these atoms are combining, and they don't ever exist by themselves. They're always combining. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. All right, we're back on the Brightside. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase longevity products, head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you want to purchase our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. All right, so if you go to the periodic table, you'll see all these little minerals, all these boxes with little letters. Each letter is a type of atom. An atom is really nothing more than an electronic configuration, period. It's not even a solid thing. Get your mind around that one. Atoms aren't even solid. They're 99.99% empty space. The rest is just a wave. It's just kind of this electrical frequency. That's all anything is electrical frequencies. And as they get bigger and bigger, these atoms get more complex, they stick to each other, the electrical frequency drops a little bit and keeps dropping, and then we see the material world. But it all starts off just as waves. And atoms are just waves. An atom is just a wave of energy. It's just bizarre what it is. And anyway, these atoms all connect with each other, and as they connect with each other, they become denser, more solid. They can't exist by themselves. They only exist in relationship to other atoms. When two atoms connect to each other, we call that a salt. Two atoms that are stuck to each other, they can get much more complex, but when two atoms stick to each other, we call it a salt. Sometimes we'll call it an acid, actually. If one of the atoms is hydrogen, we call it an acid. But basically, these are very, very simple molecules. Table salt is just sodium and chloride. Interestingly, sodium is this highly explosive stuff. Chloride is a gas, but when this highly explosive sodium connects up with the chloride gas, it forms delicious salt. Chloride is a poison gas that will kill you. Sodium is so explosive that when you put a drop of water on it, it'll blow up a city block or some, maybe not that bad, but it creates a pretty amazing explosion when sodium hits water. But when you put sodium and chloride together, they become so domesticated that you can put them on your French fries. That's kind of interesting there, too. So when hydrogen connects up with some of these atoms, you get an acid. That's what an acid is. Sometimes these atoms will connect up with more complex, in a more complex form. We call those minerals. That's what a mineral is. A mineral is a bunch of atoms that have attached themselves in a complex fashion to each other. And usually these things are found in the earth. In fact, that's what the Earth is. The Earth was a bunch of atoms that were spewed out of a star somewhere, a supernova somewhere, that have densified and become so dense they're now a planet. And all the minerals that we know on our rocky planet started off as atoms in a supernova or in a star somewhere way across the galaxy. It all comes from stars. That's another amazing fact. Maybe that's why the sun has always been considered to be God. The sun is a star, and all the atoms come from the stars. All the atoms in the earth eventually started in the belly of a star somewhere, and then were spewed out, and some of them were actually converted in the earth itself through the density of the earth. In any case, all these things are called minerals. That's what a mineral is. A mineral is a bunch of atoms that have got together through pressure and through electronic affinity. Oxygen's usually involved, hydrogen's usually involved, silica and aluminum on the earth are usually involved, and there's zillions of these things called minerals. So when we talk about minerals like colloidal minerals and nutritional minerals and all the minerals that we're supposed to eat, we're talking about a very special kind of mineral. Nutritional minerals, before there was a nutritional supplement business, nutritional minerals were found in plants and in animals that ate the plants. Nutritional minerals, before supplementation became a thing at maybe the turn of the 20th century, were only obtainable by eating your veggies and your fruits and your meats and fish and eggs and all the other things that we ate. We got nutritional minerals, and these nutritional minerals were not the same as rock minerals. These nutritional minerals are a completely different animal, so to speak, I guess you'd say, than the minerals that you get that are found in the planet. They're different types of minerals. And that's why when people say things like, oh, there's arsenic and there's nickel and there's aluminum and you're beyond tangy tangerine. Some bonehead put an article out a couple years ago, and I can't find it. I copied it. I don't know where I put it. It said, poison in your beyond tangy tangerine. It has arsenic in it. And you'll hear people say that, but they're not making a distinction between the minerals that are in the earth and the minerals that we eat, the nutritional minerals. Now, today we have a supplement business, so we are getting some rock minerals that we didn't get before. And there were some rock minerals that were dissolved in springs that people probably got, dissolved in spring water and other forms of water. But for the most part, the minerals that we got for zillions of years and the minerals that we want to get today are minerals that have been magically transformed by plants. And that is so, so important. Plants take the rock minerals and they make them biological minerals. They take geological minerals and turn them into biological minerals. And that's the key right there. If you want to understand the power of plant-derived minerals, and Dr. Wallach's really very prescient vision, very a visionary idea that disease was caused largely by deficiency in these biological substances, these biological minerals that have been converted by plants from geological minerals. They're called colloidal minerals. Why? Because when the plant does its magic on the rock to create a biological mineral, it does it by attaching things to it that give this mineral a certain electrical property and a certain size. And this the electrical property and the size are what we mean when we talk about colloids. Colloids, there's lots of colloids. Protein colloid. Colloid just means a very, very small substance. It has to do with its size. And a colloidal material is a material that has a bunch of colloids embedded in a gel or in a matrix, we'll say. And the combination of a moving matrix and colloids creates electrical energy. The blood has a lot of colloids floating in it. Albumin is probably the most famous of the colloids, colloidal proteins that are floating through the blood. And when colloids float through liquid, they create electrical charges. This is why all disease is related to dirty blood. As we age, the blood becomes less able to conduct electrical energy. And instead of having a flowing electrical substance, you've got this sticky, massy substance that's not moving, like a polluted river. And it all has to do with the colloids. In the case of minerals, plants can take minerals and can wrap them around with biological substances to create a colloidal mineral, also known as a plant-derived mineral or plant-derived colloidal mineral. And it's the magic of plants. That's how plants are the interface between rocks and life. Plants are where rocks get turned into life, or where the inanimate gets turned into the animate. Just like we said, how electrons are where the visible becomes the visible, plants are where the inanimate becomes the animate, the magic of plants. And that's why it's so important to eat your plants. And eat your veggies, eat your fruit, eat fruits, eat veggies. And also why it's so important to make sure you're getting enough plant-derived colloidal minerals. Your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, of course, is probably the most powerful form, densest form of plant-derived colloidal minerals that you'll ever get. Way more dense than a piece of celery or a piece of fruit. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back at
Bye now.
We are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Got lots of lines open for you. In fact, we got all our lines open for you. If you haven't been able to get on board, now's the time to try. We'll get you run in. 844-236-6010 if you have questions about the longevity products or business or formulations or health challenge you or a loved one needs help with, or if you just have a comment or success story. 844-236-6010 is our number. Don't forget to check out our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com and our videos, blog posts, and news stories at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. All right, from the journal Chest, Nutrition as a Metabolic Modulator in COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Rates are, like with all chronic diseases, are increasing. COPD, like we were saying before we went to break, does not just appear spontaneously. It's the end result of long-term abuse, mostly smoking, but not necessarily. Now, as it turns out, there's a nutritional role. Surprise, surprise. According to this article in Chest, nutritional supplements can be used to modulate respiratory pathology. Studies have identified micronutrient modulation via the diet as a primary intervention. You're not going to get rid of your COPD with nutrition, but you can do a lot to alleviate suffering and improve the symptoms. A lot, a lot, a lot. Vitamin C is probably the most, well, I don't want to say the most, but that's the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to the health of the lungs and the health of the respiratory tract. Vitamin C is one of those vitamins that it's just good for everything. It's a panacea. It's snake oil. It's good for everything. There's not a single health challenge that will not benefit from vitamin C, which is probably from a chemistry perspective, it's probably the most amazing molecule in all of biology. And I say that because it's such a simple little molecule, but yet its biochemical properties and effects are so diverse. It does so many different things, and it's got so many different properties. Vitamin C, plain old vitamin C. That's why Linus Pauling, who, if he wasn't the greatest biochemist that ever lived, he was one of the top, he's in the argument for the top 5 biochemists that ever lived. Linus Pauling couldn't stop talking about vitamin C. Albert Szent-Györgyi, another in the argument for top biochemist who ever lived, he as well couldn't get enough of this molecule. They wrote papers and books and talked about it, and I can see why. From a biochemistry perspective, vitamin C is absolutely mind-blowing and its importance. And I know I said it before, but I'll say it again for new listeners. Don't pay any attention to any of that nonsense that says that vitamin C is toxic or vitamin C is not really vitamin C, it's a fake vitamin, blah, 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 blah. Baloney. Vitamin C is found in fruits and vegetables that have other components in with the vitamin C. This is true. And this is why food nutrients are always better than just plain supplements. That's true, but it doesn't mean that vitamin C on its own is not tremendously valuable. It is. The cell itself utilizes vitamin C. The cell has a way of taking in vitamin C by itself, ascorbic acid. So you don't need to have, special formulas to benefit from your vitamin C. That being said, it's always best to get your nutrients from plants. I can't think of a single health challenge that would not benefit by using high doses of vitamin C or intravenous vitamin C. You got to be a little careful with high doses of vitamin C because it can get you can get a little bloated and crampy from it, and you don't want that. So if you're going to start adding vitamin C to your program, do it slowly and find the sweet spot where it's not too much and not too little. And for the skin, oh boy, topical vitamin C is unbelievable. That's because under deficiency states, when the body is deficient in vitamin C, and most people are, the body will redirect vitamin C from the skin, from the extremities, towards the center of the body. This is why when we're malnourished, we have problems in our extremities, and especially especially on the skin. Diabetics, classic examples of people who have problems with the extremities. Dry skin on the hands is a sign of and the face for that matter. These are the extremities, and the body will redirect nutrients away from the extremities, the outer portion of the body, and the ends of the body, the feet, the hands, the head. And it will send them to the heart and the liver and the spleen. And when I say the head, I don't mean the brain. I mean the skin on the face, I should say. Redirected from the face and the hands and the feet towards the center of the body. And this is why using topical vitamin C is so amazingly valuable. Because when you put the vitamin C on top of the skin, it makes its way into the lower levels of the skin. And for many people, their skin is vitamin C deficient. And once you put vitamin C in the skin, you get dramatic changes, visible dramatic changes, not superficial changes, real dramatic tissue changes in the constituency of the skin when you use topical vitamin C. But it has to be fatty. This is what I discovered in my compounding pharmacy, is when you use regular vitamin C, you don't get anywhere near the benefits that you do with fatty vitamin C for the skin. Internally, it doesn't matter as much. It doesn't matter, really. I mean, you get something called ascorbyl palmitate capsules or tablets, which is fatty vitamin C as a supplement. But the skin, the interior of the body handles vitamin C pretty well. From the outside of the body perspective, from a skin perspective, you need fat-soluble vitamin C. You're not going to find it in a lot of products. It's very, very expensive and or difficult to work with, so you don't see it in a lot of products. When I first became aware of the healing properties of this stuff, I started going crazy formulating products with fat-soluble vitamin C, and that's the genesis of our True Skin Health products. The core of it is fat-soluble vitamin C, as well as other vitamins. Vitamin A is also very important. Vitamin A is another one of those nutrients that whose redirection or rerouting away from the skin has an impact, even, well, I don't say even more, but just almost as much as vitamin C. Vitamin A deficiency in the skin can cause skin dryness. It can cause changes in how the skin divides. It can cause problems with the connective tissue, leading to wrinkles. It can cause problems with the skin barrier. There's all kinds of things that vitamin A deficiency can cause, dermal skin effects that vitamin A deficiency can cause, and even worse, vitamin A is really hard to get out of foods. It takes a lot of work. Vitamin A traveling through the blood also requires some energy and some chemistry. Vitamin A is a little tricky, and vitamin A deficiency is not only common. It's not only a common feature of aging, but it's also, unfortunately, a common feature of people who aren't aged because of gallbladder problems and liver problems, and, by the way, blood sugar problems. Vitamin A plays a major role in how the body processes sugar. Vitamin A and diabetes, vitamin A deficiency, I should say, and diabetes are linked. Vitamin A requires a healthy liver, and vitamin A metabolism requires a healthy liver and a healthy gallbladder. And this is one of the ways the digestive system or impaired digestion can lead to diabetes and blood sugar problems. Where have you heard that before? That's called the triangle of disease. The triangle of disease, the link between the 2 points on the base, the blood sugar system and the digestive system, one of the links, there's a few links, but one of the links is the link between the gallbladder and the liver, and it definitely plays a role or is involved in the deficiency and the dysmetabolism of vitamin A. If you're a diabetic, it is highly suggested you get on vitamin A, vitamin A supplements, vitamin A supplement. And then, of course, whenever you take your fatty nutrients, you want to take them all together. Vitamins D, E, A, and K, omega fatty acids probably wouldn't hurt you either. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. And let's see here. I want to reinforce the importance of vitamin A. We'll get your calls here in just a second. I just want to reinforce the importance of vitamin A for blood sugar control. And the best way to get your vitamin A is going to be from what I call the cholesterol complex, foods that have cholesterol in them, especially eggs. Eggs are an amazing source of vitamin A, and liver and organ meats as well, if you do your liver and organ meats. And then supplemental vitamin A is a little tricky, although I suggest 20,000 international units a day. Dr. Atkins was famous for writing prescriptions for 100,000 units of vitamin A a day for acne, for short periods of time, for 3-4 months at a time. And then vitamin A is also a very important immune vitamin. They use it in third world countries when there's measles outbreaks. The World Health Organization will send vitamin A to third world countries when measles being a virus and vitamin A being an immune boosting vitamin. And vitamin A deficiency because of liver problems and gallbladder issues and intestinal issues and general fat malabsorption issues is probably more common than not. Topically, vitamin A in the form of retinol and retinoic acid can do amazing things for the skin, for anti-aging. And where can you find super high-end retinol and vitamin C products? TruthTreatments.com, TruthTreatments.com. Excuse me. All right, 844-236-6010. Let's go to Melissa in California. What's up, Melissa? Good morning. Melissa. Do we have Melissa? I'm sorry, Melody. Melody, I apologize.
Oh. Hi, Ben. How are you?
Hi, Melody. You're my skin treatments, Melody?
Yes.
Hi, Melody.
Yes, I'm loving it. So here, I have a question regarding my daughter. She's 17. She just took up a high-intensity workout. She's doing boxing. She weighs 106.
Did you say she's 15?
5'5". You
said 15?
No, 106 pounds, and she's
No, how old is she? How old?
17.
17. Okay, 106 pounds. Go ahead.
And she needs to gain weight. She's having a really hard time.
She doesn't want to gain weight. She wants to gain muscle. Not weight.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't want her being fat. You don't want her being fat. You want her being toned and having good muscle development, right? That's not weight.
Yep.
It's muscle. So that's different.
Okay.
All right, that's first of all. So second of all, the best way to gain weight and the foolproof way to gain weight is a combination of resistance training and nutrition. It's foolproof at her age. The body's already set up to do that. So resistance training meaning weights. That's the best and the quickest. Okay. So get her in the gym doing weights. And have her coming home from her workouts, making sure she's getting her protein, especially protein that contains BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. Whey is the best. Not everybody can do whey though, so if she can do whey, that's the best. Okay.
Okay.
And then make sure she's doing lots and lots of essential fatty acids. Very important for growth.
How many?
Actually, if I was her, I would get the liquid. I would just be doing tablespoons of it, and eggs and fatty foods, and then it may be more convenient for her to get the capsules or maybe both, like when she's at the gym or something, or when she's traveling or when she's out. So have her get a combination of the Ultimate EFAs and the Udo's blend. That's what I would do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then make sure she's getting all her micronutrients, the B vitamins especially, but also vitamin A, major building vitamin. And then also vitamin C. I mean, the Healthy Star Pack, I don't want to isolate specific vitamins. They're all important. But most of the best things you can do is a combination of gym with days off, macronutrition, that is lots of great quality protein. Stay away from the domesticating foods. That is the refined stuff, the processed foods, the macaroni and cheese and that kind of thing. The stricter she is that way, the more guaranteed her results.
Now, does she have to worry about, her concern was the caloric, how much she's burning in calories?
No, because she's not going to be doing, the only high calorie stuff she's going to be doing is fat, and the fat is going to be controlled. There's a satiation point for fat. The calories that are problematic are the refined carbohydrates that don't have the micronutrients with them, and she's not going to be doing any of that. So not to worry about calories.
No. So my question was actually, she thought she needs to increase how many calories because she's burning so many calories.
No, it's not a calorie issue. She's confused about chemistry because she's not a chemist. It's not a calorie issue. It's a building issue. Okay. You need calories to build, but if you just have straight calories, that's where the problem is. The problem isn't the straight calories. The problem is calories without the building nutrients. If she's getting the building stuff, she's not going to need anywhere near the calories.
Okay.
So not to worry about calories. That's not a problem.
Now,
if she's getting enough nutrient, I'm talking about nutrient density.
No, go ahead.
I'm talking nutrient density means nutrients without calories.
Yeah.
We're going to go nutrient density. So you don't even have to pay attention to calories. Just focus on nutrient density, getting foods that are densely packed with nutrients. Fish, eggs, organ meats, protein supplements, bone broth. I mean, these are building foods that don't have a lot of calories. The best building foods aren't calorie rich.
Yeah.
The nutrient density is what you're looking for. Fats are going to give her some calories, but there's satiety that's built into fats. You can't overdo the fats if you do them correctly.
How often? Okay, and then how often should she be eating? What's better? Like just 3 times a day?
Don't go by that. Unless she eats frequency-wise, the easier it'll be for her to build muscle. But what's frequency-wise for her might not be frequency-wise for me because she's active. So for me, frequency-wise is once a day. For her, it might be 2 or 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's a kid, so you have to find where that is. But you don't want to be eating all day. But you want to find a frequency place, a frequency intake of meals, a frequency like twice a day, 3 times a day, 4 times, probably 2 or 3 times a day, somewhere in there that works for her. For me, it's 1 time a day. For her, it might be 2 or 3 times a day. Okay, but definitely not snacking. That's not in her interest to snack and they call it grazing. All right, Melody, I'm going to get a couple more calls in here. I hope I helped you out there.
Thanks so much, Ben. I appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a beautiful day, and let's go to David in Pennsylvania. Say good morning. What's up, David?
Good morning, Ben. I had a question about strep throat and maybe what to do to help
Zinc
get rid of
lozenges.
that. And then
Zinc lozenges. That's the most important thing. And then gargle with vitamin C. That would help too.
And then what about tonsil stones?
Tonsil stones for you?
Well, I'm calling for somebody else.
But it's not a kid. Not a kid?
No.
Okay, that's a sign of anytime you have kidney stones, tonsil stones, gallstones, that's a sign of sludginess and stickiness. And that's a sign of toxicity. So if there's, when you have a stone and you can't get it out and it's painful and agonizing, you take the thing out. You take the tonsil out. I mean, that's all you can do. You can try things like maybe chelation there. I don't know. If the stone is in there now and he's in pain?
Well, there's a white. That's what we're assuming is a tonsil stone. You can see a white little cluster on the side of like.
Is
the
he in
tonsil
pain?
one.
Is there any pain?
No.
Okay.
Very little. Maybe a little.
Okay, so consider it an issue of toxicity and sludginess in the blood, and usually it involves the diet. Anytime you have stones, that means the liquids are becoming saturated. The fluids are becoming saturated. The blood is becoming saturated. Think of the body as this fluid system, and the liquid has to flow smoothly. When the liquid starts to become saturated, stones form. It's as simple as that, really. People have all these crazy things about what you should take and what you shouldn't take, and when you don't do calcium, don't do vitamin C, do vitamin C if you have stones. It doesn't really work that way. You want to maybe make sure they're getting enough electrolytes. Electrolytes, which we'll talk about in the next few days, electrolytes suck up water, so you can improve fluidization of the secretions with electrolytes, so potassium, calcium, magnesium, those kinds of things. But I would consider it to be a sign, personally, of toxicity. All stones should be considered a sign of toxicity, and by that I mean digestive toxicity. And, of course, the tonsils are part of the lymphatic system, and the lymphatic system is part of the digestive system. So, it really is not – it doesn't take a rocket scientist, once you understand how everything is connected, to see how stones are part of tonsil stones or gallstones or part of or kidney stones. They're part of the body's digestive system and part of the circulatory system, and that means you got to clean that part out by cleaning the diet and by ultimately cleaning the blood. All right. Anything else, David?
That's it. Thank you, Ben.
All right, buddy. Be good. All right. Let's see if we get Ralph in. You know what, Ralph? You're going to have to go real quick. What's going on? Is something I can do quickly for you?
I hope so. I got my blood work back from the doctor, and it says I've got an inflamed liver, and I just wanted to know if there's anything.
Are you on medication? Are you on any meds? Are you drinking a lot of alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay, well, something's toxing out your liver. Alcohol is a good bet. It could also have to do with blood sugar, or it could have to do with both. If you call back tomorrow, I'm happy to help you out. I'm just flat out of time. But if you want a quick answer, you got to make sure you're eliminating the toxicity, because that's the most important reason, and that includes sugar toxicity. That's the most important reason why the liver becomes inflamed. And fatty liver disease is a big, big, big problem in this country. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.